Wake Up with Patti Katter.
I love the show.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
I turn it on and turn it up.
You're listening to and watching Wake Up with Patti Katter, and I am your host, Patti Katter. Today, I have an amazing guest on the show. I'm so happy to be able to meet her through the internet. If it wasn't for our technology today, I never would have had the chance to meet her. We're going to call her Afra because that is her name on Instagram. And hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, Patti. Thank you so much. And thanks for having me with you. It really was like destiny, I can say, to meet you through the new, I can say, technology, through the technology. I barely meet people outside offline right now, mostly online. And I'm so glad to this, that we dip into the forward life to discover so many nice people like you, and happy to be in your program.
Yeah, I was so impressed by you. I actually reached out to her because she had some amazing services online that she had to offer. But then I started kind of chatting back and forth with her a little bit. And I was like, wait a second, it sounds like you have a really interesting story. And I think I want to have you on the show. So if you wouldn't mind, would you mind telling our listeners just a little bit about yourself and where you grew up?
Yes, of course, I can say. By the way, usually this question, I cannot say with one word. Like usually people say I'm from, let's say, Emirates or Saudi Arabia. My story is a little bit different, and even story of how I came to the world is different. I found my home in the Emirates, and I can always say like I'm from Emirates because I built my name and I built my reputation here. But the thing is, I was born in Russia. My mom, she's from Russia and she's mixed. Our roots going into even Amman side. So we mixed with a little bit of Arabs, and it's very, very far. As well as my father, he's German. So we have a European side as well, which is seriously like sometimes I'm thinking who I am belong to. I feel in me the whole world. And I grew up in Kazakhstan because before, when it was a war, many people settled down in different countries like Soviet Union, and it was Kazakhstan. So my relatives, like old relatives, grandmother and father, they settled down in Kazakhstan. That's how my father, he went to meet my mom in Russia, because both of them, they had medical education, and they met in one event, and they married there. My brother and me was born in Russia, and then he brought up us to Kazakhstan. I got the passport. I graduated university and finished school over there. But I always felt inside me that like I will still find my home, because I was feeling that I want to discover myself more. I want to discover the world. Wherever I will feel comfortable, I will go there. And the Emirates, it was like, I believe, one of the best choice for me, because I really love, first of all, I can say, I don't like winter a lot. So what make people most of the time comfortable is our surrounding and how we feel about physical world. So I believe that here is one of the best country in security way as well, and the way how you can educate yourself and growing up. So I learned 2 languages here, English and Arabic as well. Maybe my English sounds a little bit different, but it is the way how people, if they didn't, for example, if I didn't study English in school, the proper English, how, for example, you speak Americans and English, England, is different, but I can understand. But in Arabic world, we mixing up with many different languages like Urdu or Arabic. It's very funny sometimes to listen. So I found my home here.
Yeah, it's true. And you know what, though? It's beautiful. The way you speak is so beautiful. And I know before the show, you were concerned a little bit, thinking like, I don't know how my English will be. Your English is great. You speak better English than some people who live here in America.
Yeah.
So,
Wow, really?
yes, so good. So tell us a little bit about your how did you start racing? Because that is what you're well known for. And it's a special kind of racing. So here, I think in America, a lot of us know it is kind of drift racing, but yours is a little bit different. Could you kind of explain how did you get involved in that? Because a lot of girls, they're not interested in race cars.
Yeah, it is really true. I found myself that my story start from childhood being a little bit different from like usual girl. I didn't grow up with like a lot of attention like a girl, because maybe I had a brother who younger than me. And honestly saying, in Kazakhstan, by that age, it was really little bit difficult because crime and criminal areas were everywhere. So it was hard time to survive, and I can say it was not easy time for us. And I had to take care of my brother all the time, and even fight for him sometimes. When someone is wanted to fight with him, I just literally push him away, and I put my body into this. So it is that background give me a little bit different perspective on of how I look at the life, because I stand as a in the man position that I have to protect, I have to take care. And even when I was a small like 3 years old, I don't know why, maybe it was always inside me, but I was building a car from a cushions. Like
Wow.
seriously, yeah, the cushions, if you take the pillow, and I was building doors, bonnet, sitting place. I take the plate, and I was thinking it is a steering. I don't know from where I got this idea. Until now, we have even pictures in album, in old album. You remember these old pictures? Like even doesn't have a color. It's black and white, or sepia.
Yeah.
This old style. Until now we have, and I believe there is a couple of pictures where I can remember that with my brother we was building up the car.
Wow. So you definitely grew up in a challenging time, because it sounds like it was a rough area where you lived too. And I don't know if a lot of people can imagine that here, especially in America, we do have some rough neighborhoods, but not what you were going through as a child. What would you say one of the most difficult times has been through your life?
It was not only one time, I believe, but I can say losing my father, because I felt unfair, uh, because it was murder. He was killed, and I couldn't accept this fact that someone just took his life, because he literally was on the age when he just started his dream. He started his dream, and I always wanted he see how I will accomplish my dream. But unfortunately, I accomplished my dream. I still going into my other dreams, but he is not there.
I know
Another
that's
time, yeah, another
yeah.
difficult time was in Emirates. It was time of surviving. It was time of surviving because I didn't have any support. I had to sacrifice many things. Like many people know, if you're moving to another country, everything is different. You have to understand the culture, the places, even the names from you were so difficult to memorize and remember. I thought I will never do it. I'll never go through it. And I still couldn't understand the idea or mentality of people who is living there. They are because in Kazakhstan, in that age, now is already situations changed. It was different. Like I can read the faces or body language because I used to grow with these people. I know who they are. But when you go to another country, you can only trust on. I was trusting on my sense, And sometimes it literally, my brain was overheating, I can say, because I see something one, but my sense tells me it's not that what you see. So I had experience of reading people more, increasing my sense of understanding people, their psychology, and especially when I started racing here. I used to race in Kazakhstan as well, but when I started racing, I was one of the girls who ever been seen in the behind the wheel, and it was 2014, 13 when I started, and honestly, it was not easy. I was not accepted in this field at all. Even in Kazakhstan, I wasn't accepted. In Kazakhstan, I was one of few girls as well who were racing. Right now, situations changed as well, but here is a bit different. Especially if we're talking about Saudi Arabia, they recently allowed women to drive in the country. Like I believe it's 3 years ago. So in Emirates, women drives in the country, but not racing. And later on, I started seeing some girls joining the racing, but this racing is like kind of time attacks, circuit racing. We have girls racing here, but Tafheet, the freestyle drift, something very, I can say it's dangerous. You always walking on the edge of death and life. But here I cannot explain what's going on with me that time, because it's like something inside me moves me. And I felt always that I want to do something in this life where nobody done it before. I wanted it since my young ages, but not because I want to do something for myself. I always felt this big mission inside me that I want to do it to have a story so other people can be believing in themselves, and even they seemed like the situation is very hard, and no matter what, they have to go through it. I was living in a desert 28 days. Thanks God, it was not the time when it was summertime, like 50-degree. It was December, like almost now hours. Now nowadays, like November, December. And I was a girl who never used to say anybody about my problems. I didn't like it. Maybe because of my childhood again, because I used to say, no, I will do it alone. I will do it myself. No, I will do it. It helped me. It really helped me a lot to build myself very strong. And now I don't have to rely on anybody. I do everything my own self, from the work until to take care of my family, my mom. For the cars, even I know what I need to build if I want to build my own car. So when I come here, I didn't have much knowledge about cars as well. So I used to, people used to steal my car has been stolen many times. I was in the hospital when I had the surgery, and I remember that the first thing when I was discharged, I went to the garage to see my car, because I couldn't even move and breathe, but this is something make me alive. And I remember that when I entered and I seen my car just taking on pieces, it was so hurtful, because people just literally didn't want me to race. They didn't want me they didn't want to support me in any types of like this activities. They always pointing me as like, you are the girl, go to the kitchen. You are the girl, you cannot play with the cars. Or I remember I took my first photo with my Nissan Patrol, and people were cursing me. They were cursing me about like, oh, why she's standing with this such a car? It's not for girls. It's not for a woman. It was about 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Of course, the situation is completely changed. Like I remember right now, oh my God, it was like recently. But right now I can see it situation is changing. But as a freestyle woman, officially Tafheet girl worldwide, in the game even, I'm remaining the only until now, since 2017. And I can say I always motivate people. I receive plenty of messages from girls, boys, teenagers, adults about, Afra, how you do it. How do you just take it and do it? I tell them I never had chance for training. I literally never have chance for training, for practicing. I always jump into the last train for myself. This is all my life. I wish I had sponsors. I wish I had support. I spend a lot of money on my dream. I can say I accomplished it in certain level. If I go back to my childhood, I accomplished even more than I could even imagine. But it took me a lot of time, a lot of effort. Yes, I lost myself and I found myself and I built myself and I renew myself and I redo myself and again and again and again. There is never stop for this journey. And the most interesting part is, like, I have huge knowledge about the cars, how to fix, what the problem, maybe not that much professional because I didn't graduate like mechanic. Don't become mechanical engineer, but through the life is different. When you have education and when you have real situation in life. I've been in fire, I've been in rollover, I've been in different situations in my life. So I know I don't need to be in such situation just to know how it feels and how to survive. But I want to share the big message with the world about being a brave and always trust your guts. Believe in what, because everyone, even how many people listening to us right now, everyone have their own mission and purpose in this life. It doesn't matter what. It can be a big accomplishment for everyone. Just take a step. And you know what always helped me is I always do before I'm ready. I jump into something before I'm thinking about this. This is always, and it actually bring me to my dreams and many racing which I accomplished with first places, second places. I became champion many times. I actually made the history and I became in the history of being the first girl Tafheet. This is something I never dreamed to become. And I have many goals right now, of course, like, because when we are accomplished, we're already having something else. It's always a gap. There will be always a gap. And remembering myself standing on podium, holding the cast, holding the trophy. I don't remember if I felt some joy. Of course, I am thankful for all of this, but in this moment, I feel empty. I feel empty, but my body must celebrate. But inside, I feel empty because when we accomplish something, it is done. What next? And this is an interesting point because sometimes after such situation, I always have little depression, but I come back very fast to my tracks again, to having a new goals or discovering myself or changing the strategy, because strategy must be changed all the time. Old habits or something else will never help when you are planning to always go with the time right now and to the future. We have to leave everything and live very easily. Otherwise, it's drag us down. It's drag us back. For anything, it can be family, relationships, work situation, anything. We have to, the way how we're breathing. You never feel when we exhale and when we inhale. This moment between exhaling and inhaling, we never catch this moment. The same what we have to do with our life. The days goes, just don't hold it on. We have a memories, and this is what was usually keep me on going always with my goals. I don't know. I'm honestly lost right now because there are so many things to talk about and tell you. And thank you so much for you are amazing listener.
You have such an inspirational story, though. I think, I do have listeners from all over the world, but being from America, I believe that so many of us women, we've been very fortunate where we grew up being able to participate in a lot of different men's sports. But still to this day, there are some challenges for women. Even my podcast, I was told well, men are usually the ones who succeed the most in podcasting. And I worked and I poured my heart into it for, several years. And now I'm at the top rated podcast. But it's like you, you've really overcome so many more trials, though. For me, I feel like I've had a very easy life compared to you, and your story is incredible. I was thinking, gosh, you need to write a book because it would be a really good book, and they could even make a movie over you because really your story is just really motivating, and it's encouraging to all people, women, children. It gives children hope. I mean, look at how far you've come, and you're paving the way for other women behind you. You're doing an amazing job. And I definitely think that your father would be very proud.
Thank you a lot. There are a lot of memories. I cannot bring it up everything together. I'm sure there are so many things to say. I still feel I didn't say anything, honestly.
Oh my goodness, you did. You gave a lot of information and a lot of
maybe it always feels like this. I don't know.
So much encouragement. You really are encouraging. And you guys out there listening, okay, you have to go over to her social media because her reels on Instagram, her stories on Instagram, and are you on TikTok too?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, she has an amazing following, but there's no wonder. You're just so full of energy and so full of really what people are looking for right now. I think especially we're all looking for encouragement. We're all looking for stories of people who are being real with us. So you tell us all of the hardships that you've had, but also how to overcome those hardships.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to also say something because I might be inspiration for someone. And yes, thank you so much for saying that. I'm receiving a lot of messages, yes. But I want to say for those who also sometimes cannot find inspirational, who just feeling that they are enough for themselves, because I am always been like this. And there are moments in our lives when we feel lost or no needed, or we felt like we are out of our track or out of our own track. So what I can say, what I discovered just recently for myself is I start accepting fast situations, and I'm not going down to be so sad about such situation. I have a lot of haters. But I love them because they are the one who motivates me. And I'm not saying just regular phrases which you can read on quotes or movies. I literally survived this and I lived it. You know how many quotes I used to read before, and I was thinking, "Wow, that's cool quote," and I was thinking I understand it. But when times were going and I actually survived some moments, this quote come back to me through my own life. I didn't need to read it somewhere or search. It just come itself as a concept. And then I realized, oh my God, it's similar to that quote which I used to read. And I think it is meaning absolutely is different meaning or more deep than I used to think. So what I want to say about that is accept any ages, any person has their backgrounds, their story, and we have to be respectful for all ages, because somebody cannot be like you or you cannot be like somebody. We are all unique. Everyone is unique. Everyone has purpose in this lives and mission. Even if it seemed to be small or big, we cannot even compare, because sometimes we can think it's small mission can turn the way that is really very big mission. And some people in my life who I met, they're maybe never been my friends, but they kind of were putting a mark into my life where I was counting down the next steps which I'm gonna do. And I'm so thankful for such people who across my way, across my life. And sometimes even I might not know them. Like, for example, recently, I was so surprised about Jackie Chan that he said after 56 years building a movies, being an actor, breaking down bones. I I rewatched this short clip in TikTok maybe few times until it goes through my brain and I realized like sometimes people fighting for something right now and some people just live their life. They don't need it because they are found themselves through, they are true to themselves. He don't need this guys. He is legend. He did something already what make a mark for many of us. Like those movies. I was growing up on these movies. It's funny. And I remember him. I cannot compare because he has a character. The most important is not to lose your own self for someone. It is something very strong. But to feel down, it is okay. But not so far. You need to work on it, of course. It should be shorter, each time shorter and shorter time of being depressed.
I love that. Oh, thank you so much for being on this show. Could you please share your social media with everybody who's listening? And also for those listening, it'll be in the show notes. It will be on the screen when you watch this. But could you just tell our listeners, where can they find you on all your social media platforms?
Thank you so much, Patti, for having me. And you're one of the best listeners. I honestly, and the questions you brought up, it made me also take it off. I believe like long time I didn't speak about this. And yes, thanks for listeners, for everyone who's listening right now. And I will not say more, but yeah, you can always find me in YouTube, Afra World. You can always find me in TikTok, VTC.66. You can always find me in Instagram. If you just type simply Afra World as well, it will come up. But my handle is Croft_J. Even this nickname has a story about Croft.
I have a feeling I was going to ask you about that. I better just do that right now because some of my listeners might want to know. Is that after Laura Croft on Tomb Raider by chance?
It is, I can say yes. And I will tell you even more than that. When I was small, I remember the movie Tomb Raider, when it still was not on, I remember everyone was voting for a couple of girls. And one of them, it was Angelina Jolie. And by that time I was like thinking, I was seriously so small, and I was thinking like I have to play in this movie. I'm an actress. By the way, I did movies as well. I've been in Emirati movie on the screen, which is shown like Unbeatable Fighter. I was playing a kidnapper role with a gun and everything.
Wow.
As well with Salman Khan, with Shah Rukh Khan in movie Zero, those Indian actors, popular. I've been with them as well. And after this, I was playing a game, and it was ICQ program before. My nickname was Croft because I was in love with that game before the movie came out. There was no movie before this game.
Right.
And yes, it was a game first. They make a movie on the game. And it was first and second part. I used to just rush this game. I was playing, fighting, everything. And by the way, I can say that many people right now into the gaming world, if they really play games which motivates them with amazing character since young, it actually built their brain and mind into the like being warrior, having stamina, and being very strong to the life. So I believe that parents have to look after the kids to let them play, but play right games. Sometimes also need to play not right games, but with analyzation and comparison, because it can help to build up analysis. So you can later, it will help you in any situations to make fast decisions or to change the strategy in the same time, or to accept something what you are not able, or like sometimes we are stuck. No, it should be this way. No, why not? Or sometimes you will build up a sense where you have to fight and where you have to let it go. It is very important. Like before, I didn't know. I hurt many people. I literally hurt many people with my behavior sometimes, maybe words, maybe something else. But I was so hating myself for this. But later, I understood it was a part of my journey to understand the balance. How would I know if I didn't do it, if I didn't try it? Of course, it's not about like we cannot touch the hot teapot to understand that it's hot. Of course, there are some things which we don't need to go through to understand that we don't need to go through this.
Yeah, that's true.
But some things we really need to go through. And Croft is brought up from that past, from the games. And I really was in love with this Lara Croft.
Mm-hmm.
The way how she was strong through life, having stamina in everything. That's how my life was going into that. I was always into sport. I was always into some challenges. I wanted always to be a winner. And most of the time I was a loser. But again, it teaches me a lot. It teaches me a lot. It taught me a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. You have such a great story and such a great personality. And I really appreciate you being on the show. And I'm going to make sure that everybody has your contact information for your social media. They can go there and like and follow. And everybody listening, be sure to check out Afra. She is amazing. And you've just been a great guest. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
So thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. And I appreciate your time. And until next week, I'm Patti Katter, and you're listening to Wake Up with Patti Katter.
Thank you for listening to Wake Up with Patti Katter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for all you do.
Follow Patti at Patti Katter on Facebook and Instagram.
Get social.
You can now watch Wake Up with Patti Katter on Amazon TV and Roku.
It's the only podcast I listen to.
Be sure to check out Patti's apparel line, The Patriotic Mermaid, at thepatrioticmermaid.com and on social media at The Patriotic Mermaid.
I love it.